Ladies and gentlemen, on December 16th, 1944, a German counteroffensive has started. This, however, only lasted a month but accumulated over 90,000 casualties. 11% of these casualties happened at Bastogne, while only 2% of the 11 were US and the other 9% were German. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to guide you through the Battle of Bastogne, how it started, what happened during, and how the battle concluded. Adolf Hitler had a plan to retake the port of Antwerp, which is to the west, going through the Allied defense, splitting them in half. He intended to cut the Allies in half and split them up and encircle 4 armies and then force a peace treaty that would obviously favor Germany. To do this, though, the importance of Bastogne was noted by the Germans because of the vital crossroads that would lead out of Bastogne to the west, leading them to Antwerp. So, the 8th Corps has already, the United States 8th Corps had already been posted up in Bastogne for a while, and their front was generally quiet. Their front was actually so quiet that General Eisenhower eventually would take some of their numbers and send them north to help with the battle up there. To describe the mission of the 47th Panzer Corps, I have a quote here that states, "In the 101st Airborne Division's defense of Bastogne, written by Colonel Ralph Mitchell, he states that the German 47th Panzer Corps would be attacking through Bastogne sector. Specifically, the corps was to cross the Aure River on a wide front, bypass the Cliff sector, take Bastogne, and move to and across the Meuse River south of Namur." Here is a visual aid showing it. Bastogne here, they would have to cross the river, get to Bastogne, and then continue using Bastogne's crossroads to get to the Meuse River over here. Now, to start, the German offensive would take 20 miles just to reach Bastogne. The general that would be leading the attack already differed with Hitler and noted that it would take a lot longer to get there, and that without divisions covering their extended flanks, the Germans would be then exposed and easily taken out. The German troops were also tired, and they were also missing ammunition and parts for repairs that they did not have. This raised concern during the preparation for the counteroffensive. The Germans also miscalculated the amount of U.S. troops that would be in the area of the 8th Corps. They also miscalculated the amount of resistance that would be had in the 8th Corps division. On December 16th, 1944, the Battle of Bastogne started with German artillery at 5 a.m. This made troops in the morning were very confused and uncoordinated in their defense. Even though the U.S. troops were able to hold off the Germans just in time for a steady withdrawal to Bastogne. The Allied command, once hearing the news that the German counteroffensive was on, he sent the 101st over to Bastogne. Now, the 101st were not to be found because they had already left to a city north of Bastogne. But, however, by chance, the 101st advance detachment took a detour to Bastogne and then only learned there that they would be defending Bastogne. The Germans had already rapidly pushed down the Wiltz-Bastogne road at this time. The Germans were within 4 kilometers of Bastogne. German morale was highly up at the time. They had broken through the first Allied defense that they put up there. On the 101st ended up arriving on the 19th. On the 22nd of December, about noon, 4 Germans under a white flag entered the lines of the 2D Battalion, 327th. The terms of the announcement they carried were simple: the honorable surrender of the encircled town. This to be accomplished in 2 hours on threat of annihilation by the mass fires of the German artillery. The rest of the story had become legend. How General Markov disdainfully answered nuts, and how Colonel Harper, commander of the 327th, hard-pressed to translate the idiom, compromised on go to hell. This quote taken from Philip M. Cole's book titled The Ardennes Battle of the Bulge, Chapter 19, shows how confident the 101st Commander and his troops were. Considering the rejection of the surrender proposal, the rest of the 22nd was very quiet. In an article written by Lieutenant Colonel Chester H. Phillips, he stated that the fog and snow continued until the morning of Saturday, December 23rd, when the temperature plummeted, the sky dawned clear and bright with unlimited visibility, and the longed-for airdrop became possible. The resulting 1,446 bundles parachuted in by low-flying C-47s surely saved the defenders of Bastogne. Here is a picture of Bastogne. As you can see, the Germans were pushing in down the Wiltz Road. They were eventually held at the Neuville-Bizery-Neuf line for about a day, and then they truly encircled the Bastogne. The morale boost for the U.S. was boosted because of the airdrop. At the same time, they needed the supply very badly. On the 24th, the Germans continued uncoordinated and tired attacks at Bastogne, but the 101st defended. On the 25th, however, the Germans threw everything they had at the Americans in Bastogne, but the Americans continually held. On the 26th of December, Lieutenant Colonel Creighton Adams broke through the south road of Bastogne, opening up the circle that was enclosed by the Germans, and then supplies flooded into the U.S. to the 101st. That eventually helped them out a lot more. The Germans had no more troops that were able to patch the hole that Abrams had made through the south side of Bastogne. Mitchell states that the 101st had held Bastogne and seriously incapacitated the Germans' Ardennes offensive. In action from 18th through 27th December, the 101st and its attachments had suffered 115 officers and 1,933 enlisted casualties. They had killed 7,000 Germans, captured 697 prisoners, and destroyed approximately 200 armored vehicles. During the research for this, for the Battle of Bastogne, I found a nice enjoyment in having a map on my screen and looking at the way what moves the army eventually did, and then looking at the map and comparing that to what happened on the map. And then looking at what further happened to the Americans and the consequences that were made because of the moves that were made. I hope you enjoyed my speech. Thank you.